What's going on, everybody? Jordan and Brittany here with Real Beauty Bosses, and we are in the Six-Figure Marketing Hacks for Beauty Pros group, bringing some good marketing and branding strategies to you today with the expert in branding herself, Brittany Duvall. Ain't that right, Brittany? What's going on? How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am doing awesome. I hope you're doing good too. I know it's Friday, and I hope we're not cutting in too much time with you and the baby you got at home. But I thank you for taking the time out, and I'm super excited to introduce you to the group because you are one of our coaches and mentors in the private mastermind community. And today we want to give you the opportunity to come and meet all the awesome Real Beauty Bosses here in the Six-Figure Marketing Hacks group. So what's going on, Brittany? How are you?
I am good. I was dealing with a sick baby all last week, so I am excited that she is doing much better now. And I've been playing catch up all week. I'm sure a lot of you moms out there can totally understand and relate.
Let us know who's a mom who's watching right now. It looks like we got a couple people on who are hopping on. We got Moni, we got Michelle, we got Jessica, we got Bree. What is going on, everybody? How many moms we got here? Do a hashtag moms in the comments if we got some moms here. What was going on with the baby, by the way? Share us a little bit. What was going on?
Oh my goodness. So as a mom, you know when your baby is sick, and it's just so frustrating when you aren't being heard by doctors. So I went to the doctor, and she was like, oh, her ears are fine. She's okay. Just normal stuff. And I was like, okay. And then through the night, she spiked 103.5 temperature. And that, as a new mom, I was like, this is not normal. Something is up. And so by early in the morning, I woke up my husband and I was like, we gotta go to the ER. This is crazy. Mm-hmm. And so again, at the ER, they're like, sorry, it's just a virus, just Motrin and Tylenol, that's all we can give you. And I was like, okay. And so they let us go. And still going through the week, I was having sleepless nights, and I was just
nothing to mess around with. The 103 fever with the baby. How old's your baby, by the way?
She is 19 months old.
19 months. Well, that's a pretty scary situation, but she's better now, right?
Yes.
What's her name?
Better. Annabelle Rose.
Annabelle Rose. That's awesome. Well, I know we got a lot of moms here. I got a lot of hashtag moms. So what's going on, fellow mothers out there? What we're going to talk about today is a little background on Brittany first, how she has kind of settled into her place, starting her business while she was becoming a mom, right? Mm-hmm. And also now you kind of specialize in working with mompreneurs out there too, right? Mm-hmm. So that's super cool. So give us a little bit of background on you, how you got into branding, and tell us a little bit about the journey that's been for you since you started your business.
Yeah, so I was in the corporate world for 5 years after getting my degree, and I did everything from print design, marketing design. I did some branding. I did some package design. So I pretty much have it all under my belt. But it's just, to me, what resonated so much was putting a face and building a foundation for a business. And so it's just that has always been my passion. And then becoming a mom, I have realized that it's so hard as a new mom to go back to the corporate world. And I know a lot of moms out there that struggle trying to balance it, or they're just making ends meet just to stay home because they'd rather stay home than pay for childcare. Right. So I'm out there to help those moms that maybe had a passion on the side and they just want to start their business, but need that extra help with that.
Yeah, I love that. And you've kind of tell us a little bit about like when did you kind of transition? Was this after you had your baby that you transitioned into starting your own business and going full time with it as well?
Yeah, so I did go back to work for some time, and then I basically, I thank my husband every day for it.
Hmm.
But he has helped me financially to be able to really launch my business. Um,
That's awesome.
so I started my business. She was probably about 4 months, and then I went full fledged within the last few months now.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations. That's a big step. And
Yeah.
congratulations to your husband as well for helping you be able to do that.
Yeah.
In the comments, I've also had, your power partner, your rock, help you kickstart your business. Because I just made a post on that yesterday that, if it
I
wasn't
know.
for Katie, we wouldn't be here today either. So that's awesome. You had the support and you were able to, take things out on your own and, get away from the corporate, the living in a box style lifestyle, and be able to take things
Yep.
on your own and control your business, control your time, and control your money, right? And
Exactly.
so that's awesome. I love that. And I know we got a lot of people here too who definitely are. I mean, there's a wide range of people here who are just starting out. Like Ashley, what's going on, Ashley? How are you? She started her business about a month ago, and she,
Okay.
is very passionate about what she does. And she just got started about a month or two ago with her new practice and stuff like that. So everything's starting to develop, and she's starting to really try to get her face and name and brand out there,
Mhm.
as well as a lot of other people here who have been in the industry for a long, long time, but are also maybe looking to find the best way to get their brand, whether it be themselves or a salon, to stand out. And so I'm excited to kind of get into some of this and kind of
Yeah.
hear where all the information that you've taken, focusing on this space, what we can kind of do to share it with this audience. So again, what's going on, guys? I know we got a lot of moms here, so I need to see some more hashtag moms so we can have a little mom combo here with Brittany, who is specializes in helping the mompreneurs get their branding together and help it to get themselves known, right?
Yeah.
So why don't we start off with saying like what classifies a good brand? What is good branding when it comes to
Well, so I love that the mindset masterclass was yesterday because essentially a good brand is you. I mean, you are your own brand. And so that is the foundation. And I think because it's so tangible, a lot of people think like, hey, I'm gonna go buy that logo, but they don't realize that that logo might be just like someone else is out there, and it's
Mhm.
not authentic to you. But there's a lot more components to a brand. It's not just a logo. And so that's
Mhm.
why people run to that first tangible thing
Mhm.
because they think like, oh, like I got it,
Right.
and I'm ready to go. But when you don't build that foundation of your I'll get into it more, but your market, your target customer,
Right.
your competitors, your brand basics, your brand pillars, the brand position, the brand promise, the values, the actual story, all of that is your foundation for your marketing.
Right.
Then it goes to your visual. Then it
Right.
goes to the logo, and you bring that into your marketing and your advertising.
Yeah.
So I think that's like the huge cookie that people are missing.
Right. And I think how many of you guys out there, when you started your business, the first thing you just did was, I'm just going to go get a logo. And maybe you found, someone in your local area, or you hopped on a freelancer site, you just purchased the logo because it looked good. I was guilty of that, with our past businesses and stuff, because I didn't know anything about branding and how important it was going to be, to be able to get clear on something that's actually going to resonate and be appealing to my target audience. Because at the time, I didn't even know who my target audience was, right? And so when we met and, you talked about the importance of that and we talked a little bit about that. It definitely, resonated with me because I knew that phase that Katie and I went through, getting very clear on that, how important that was to really get all of our stuff in a straight line motion, right? So what would you kind of say for maybe advice out there? What are what's maybe the first step that you would do when you're first starting your business? Let's start there. Like when you're first starting your business, what would be like the first couple of steps you may go through when you're looking into kind of getting a brand out there? Because maybe there's a lot of people out there right now who are just using their own personal brand, or they really don't have a brand yet. They're just doing their service and they're trying to figure out what that is. What like first steps would you give for someone?
So essentially, I'll just dive right into it. The 10 things that we posted on what I'll be talking about. So the first thing is your market. So figuring out the characteristics of your market. So say, I'm in Arizona. Yes, perfect. So for me, I'm in Arizona. Specifically, I'm in Chandler. So that would be like, as a beauty professional, I would focus on Chandler. Okay, so in Chandler, what is the population? What is the cost of living? What are the ages that are mostly here? What's the income? What are people's most occupations? So that, like, starting with that, then you know who you're working with. And then from there, you can narrow it down to the second thing, which is your target customer. So like you said, you didn't even know who your target customer was. So once you know who your target customer is, then you again go to those characteristics. What is the age? What is their style? Are they millennials? Are they Gen X? What are their aspirations? What do they like to focus on? So like those kinds of things are really, when you know that, then you know the person who you're speaking to.
I think that's like 100% the most important thing, is figuring out who that is. But I think a lot of people struggle with it, especially in this industry, like, who is my target customer? Because technically I can serve a lot of different people.
Right.
How would you go about maybe getting clear on who that target customer is?
Again, going back to a little bit of the mindset, but even from within, even me as a person, I'm constantly working on myself and working from within. And I think the more and more that I dove into myself, I was finally able to realize, oh, I want to focus on mompreneurs, because I had such an experience becoming a new mom that I could relate to that 100%. And then I then know how to speak to them.
That makes good sense, yeah.
I think, for those people out there that don't know, go back to those experiences in your life, and you would be surprised of how many people connect to those experiences, and that's what reaches who you want to target.
Right. And that's like one of the biggest things too, is like, if you build a business of people that aren't in your target, clientele, and people that you absolutely would love working with, you'll quickly build a business that you're not staying passionate about, that you're not loving, that you're not enjoying. Right? So that's why it's important, like, as you're growing your business, no matter what stage you're at, if you really want to grow and scale and build a healthy, client base, you have to get really clear on who you're wanting to attract, right?
Correct.
Because it's so important that you don't spread yourself too thin and, end up with just helping anyone who will give you money. Because in that case, you're not building strong relationships with people who connect with you, your story, and your brand, that will stick with you for a long time and make you the go-to for that space, right? So let us know, like, if you guys are resonating with that as well. Who is your guys' target client? Have you guys gotten clear on that? Let us know in the comments. I'd love to talk about it and share it. Because for us, Katie and I, it took us a little bit to figure out who our target clientele was. And, we started our business like helping anybody and everybody. And, we ended up being able to put some money in our pocket right away, being able to do that, but it wasn't sustainable. We quickly realized we didn't enjoy working with everyone we were working with.
Yes.
And we ended up actually starting to just get burnt out because we were working with so many people that weren't really that ideal target client for us. And for a perfect instance, like when we started our, advertising and marketing company, we started working in the salon services industry, which most people should know our story. If you don't, we started out working with a salon and a microblading specialist when we first got started. And it was amazing. We got amazing results. We loved working with them. We should have just stuck there all along. But then we realized we had these skills that could also work in other areas for other people. And we started working in like the auto industry, the cleaning industry, the blah, blah, blah industry, you name it, all over the place. And while we put some money in our pocket right away, a couple months down the road, we were working with a bunch of assholes and it sucked. Like they were trying to chop us, under our prices and every single month to get them to keep on paying us. And even though we were getting amazing results and doing our best work, it wasn't a good vibe between us, right? And we found that the people we enjoyed helping, the people we enjoyed working with were those in the beauty services space. So kind of went back to the drawing board and we're like, why don't we get very crystal clear on the type of people, that we want to help in this space. And how all of our messaging, I mean, you guys are here, right? So that's how it happens, right? You start speaking to those type of people and then they just tend to come to you, right? But you have to get clear on it first. So hopefully that's helpful. We have a couple people who say they've got Michelle, her target audience is 25 to 45 women. Sarah says, I want ladies from 40 to 75. Ashley says, I'm looking for ages 23 to 45 women. Would you say that's specific enough to start with, or how would you go through really getting clear on this target ideal audience?
I think it's definitely great to start. And essentially, once you narrow it down like to super specific, eventually you're going to be able, like once you target all those specific people, eventually you're going to be able to spread it out, So
exactly, 100%.
Yeah. So, but as far as those go, I think, figuring what type of woman maybe be the next step in figuring out, okay, those are the age, but what type of women are you wanting to attract? So like maybe I'm going to just be like super out there, but like there's women that like super like colorful hair and spiky hair. So like, what was it? 25 to 35, that age. And then I like to do these crazy colors for those specific women.
Yeah.
So that's a specific niche that you are targeting.
Yeah, I think it's all in the niche. I mean, what are they? The riches are in the niches, is what they say.
Yes, there you go.
It's very good to get clear on that. I've heard even there's some stylists, estheticians, and stuff like that work with I work with realtors to help them look amazing, while they're on the job selling homes, so they can make more money and feel more confident when they're closing deals, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And, that's perfect, right? That's going to mean when Susie, the realtor, goes to talk to her other realtor friends, hey, meet my stylist, esthetician, nail tech. She specializes in working with other realtors. And that's what really sets you aside, because that's what makes you different. But you have to kind of, take that step out of the box, because the age range is a good place to start. But what I say is the best way to really get clear on it is look at your favorite client right now and, really print out a picture of them or something if you have to, but think of what is every, trait that they have, what are they involved in? What do they do? What kind of problems do they have when they come to me? What do they talk to me about when they're in my chair or on my table or whatever? Yes. And, really get clear and create that avatar. I'm sure you guys have heard that before, creating your perfect ideal client avatar is absolutely crucial to do at least once. To really get clear, I want to work with Susie. She works out. She's a mom. She's this old. She, is always looking for the new trends, what's in new. It's going to be dependent on who this is for you.
Yep.
But she takes really good care of herself. She's, professional working. She owns a business, maybe. Whatever it is, just list it all out. Is there like a worksheet or something that you have or you use for this, or is it something like a process you go through?
It's definitely a process I go through, and I would be happy to make a worksheet, and I can have it available for next week.
That'd be pretty cool. If you guys would be interested in that, type in hashtag worksheet, and we if we get enough responses, we may put something together so you can get really clear on that target ideal client. Because I think I mean, you can't go to the next step without really getting clear on that.
How about I put a number out there? If I get 20 responses, I will do it by next week.
All right, I'm putting it on here. We better get these. Hashtag worksheet. If you want this, there's like 10 plus people on right now. Hashtag worksheet. Hashtag worksheet. If you want that ideal client avatar worksheet, drop that in the comments. And you and I are going to be doing a class later on too, like going through all of this. I'm sure that will be there as well. So if that would be valuable for you guys, let us know. But let's go ahead and keep on moving. So we were on the
number 2. So now we're on to number 3. Okay, number 3 is properties versus competitors.
You said, what was it?
Properties versus competitors.
Properties versus competitors. Let me put it on the screen. If I can spell.
And that's number 3.
There it is. All right, go ahead. I think I spelled it right. If I didn't, whatever. That's number 3.
It is what it is, right? We're not here to spell today.
Like properties, PRO.
Yep.
Okay, you're good.
You got it. All right. So essentially what this is about is figuring out your competitor strengths and weaknesses versus your opportunities and threats. So when you know your own competitors, ideally you want to have 3 competitors that you can, I don't want to say compare, but essentially you are like reviewing what they have and then how you can make yourself better. So what do they have that's good and what do they have that could be better? And then what are your opportunities for it? And then what could be some threats for what you have? So not too much to go into in that specific topic, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory in figuring out your competitors and what are their strengths and weaknesses and stuff.
That's awesome. So definitely like for everyone who's watching, what would maybe be a good action step for them to maybe just go and see what some people in their marketplace are doing and kind of see what makes them a little bit different, what assets they have that makes them unique. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So for an example, going back to like if I have a salon here in Chandler, so I'm going to look at other salons here in Chandler that serve who I want to serve. And then I will pick the 3 top competitors within that. Okay. And then review their website and maybe even pop into their own salon and like be like a secret, client, if you will, to get their experience. Because essentially, and I'll go into this a little bit more, but your brand is the experience, the feeling that you give and you provide your clients.
Right.
So you want to go and experience what they have so that you know, okay, how can I do it better? And I know there was one person that mentioned when you posted earlier in this group today that said, there's so many salons around me. How can I, differentiate myself? Well, that's one way, is like going into these salons and seeing what they are doing.
Yeah.
And, and figuring out how you can set yourself apart.
That's really good advice. And I think like sometimes in this industry, it may just be, it's not like you're going on a black ops mission. You don't have to be super sneaky about it, but,
right.
Just kind of see what other people are doing and see what's going on out there. Cause you never know, like, you could give, just go to one of the top stylists, estheticians, whatever in your area and just go check out their work and have the service done just so you can kind of see the way they're doing things. And, you never know, you may strike up a good conversation with them and find some gaps or things that you could even fill in your business, or things you could add to your business too. What we always, say is you got to model what works. And
Right.
Looking at, when you say not just looking at competitors, but looking at the top competitors
Right.
is definitely good, because someone in your area who's crushing it right now, don't you want to be crushing it too? Like, they figured something out, right?
Exactly.
So you could at least go and see what they're doing, and kind of, model and shift it and make it your own, or at least get some ideas of, some new things you can be doing too. So I think that's great advice, because Katie and I have definitely, been there dozens of times with, no, it doesn't have to be, like I said, secret, going undercover to go test out what other people are doing, but you can always make more connections with other people in the industry, and they may be your best allies to help you, grow your business too, because maybe they know their brand, know their market, and it's completely different from yours, so you're not even stepping on your toes.
Right.
Even though you do technically do the same thing, right? You can maybe still be there to support each other. So I think that's great advice. So action step for them would maybe be, just find a couple places or people in their area who do something similar they do, or something that they're at a level that they want to be, and maybe just go try out their services or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Or just
And I mean, even for me as a designer, like, I've connected with other designers or even web designers, because I don't, like, yeah, I have some web under my belt, but that's not really something I'm specific on. So just partnering with other people too. So I know this has been a topic before, but, if you're a hairstylist, go to that I can't say the word, I'm sorry, guys. But go to that other person and partner with them, and be able to have referral partners and bounce back and forth. And once you build that relationship, then you build that trust. And that's a foundation of a brand, is building trust.
I love that. I think that's very valuable. Ashley does say she's not aware of anyone in her area who's specifically targeting her ideal clientele. She's modeling her business off of trendsetters online. So that works too. You can always see what people are doing online as well, and even reaching out to those people, and just saying, hey, I love what you're doing. I'd love to chat and maybe ask a couple questions. I'm also, in your case, Ashley, I'm also an esthetician looking to grow my business, and I'd love to chat. Maybe we could talk about doing something together, whatever, right? Whether you even just be doing a little interview like this on your own personal page, like whatever, just get a way to talk to them. Because if you can take someone who is crushing it in a different space, they're more than happy most of the time to come out, take the time out of their day to, help other people, right? And so, like, that was one of the things that Katie and I first did, and how we actually spanned our podcast, was we wanted to learn as much as we could about the industry that we were in. And so we started reaching out to people who were doing, awesome things, and who were big influencers in the space, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 followers, and just like, hey, would you mind taking the time out of your day? I love what you're doing. Looks like you're doing amazing things. I'm working on doing some interviews to, collect some information on the space, and it may be put into a book, podcast, whatever later on, but I'd love to just chat. Something like that, like we'll get them to open up to you. So like, I was getting influencers that are all top ranked on like Modern Salon and all this stuff just by reaching out to them. And it's like, people are willing to help. You just have to ask, right?
Exactly.
So that's awesome advice. So let us know if that's valuable for you guys. You guys could do that right now. Go find that person that you've been stalking on Insta, Ashley. She just said that. I already Insta stalked them.
No joke. I've done it, so no judgment here.
Just reach out to them. Say like, hey, I'm absolutely loving your work. Renee Marie, who's part of the coaches lineup too. She's a bridal hairstylist. She's got an amazing Instagram following, like 25,000 followers. Like, her stuff's highly ranked, Modern Salon top 100. She's constantly even reaching out to people who are even above her level, and connecting with them, collaborating with them, just reaching out. I love your work. I'd love to, hop in a chat sometime, get to know each other, see how we can support each other.
Exactly.
That kind of stuff can really help lift you to the next level. And seeing someone who is a step ahead of you is always going to kind of shift your mindset and get you thinking a little bit more on growth, right? So perfect advice. Let us know if you guys are going to apply that. Go reach out to those people you've been stalking. Just say hello. Let's go ahead and move into number 4.
Alrighty. Number 4 is brand basics.
Brand basics. All right, let's go.
So essentially what this is your overall company brand and what it's based on. So for an example, I did, I'm going to kind of reference a recent project that I did. So I worked with a realtor, kind of going back to that topic.
Mm-hmm.
Her brand basic, as an example, would be company brand based on customer affinity, solving customers' problems, selling a relationship that is superior to competitors, warm, supportive, friendly, helpful, nurturing approach. Because she was really, she wanted it to be a whole different type of experience when you buy homes. And she wanted it to be fun and exciting, and she holds your hand through this process. So that's kind of just an overall on the brand basics. It's very short and sweet, to the point, but you have it as a small foundation. And then the next one,
quick, like just to touch on that too, like you're really, your branding should all be revolved around that experience you do provide to your client, right? So all of you guys who are here in the beauty services space, everything you do is related to the service you provide in the way that you make people feel when they come to see you, because not only are you just exchanging a service in exchange for money, but you're actually making an impact on that person's look, the way they feel about themselves. The after effect for them could be just huge, right? Let's just say, Brittany, you just got your hair done blonde, maybe that completely transform your attitude and transform your confidence, right? Like, if that was the case for you, like, how does that feel? And how did that person, be able to create that for you? And what was the experience that involved that too? What would who does your hair? If you don't mind me asking, like, do you have like a go-to? I mean, not like their name or anything, but
it's hard because I'm actually originally from the West Valley of Arizona, so I've still been trying to find the right person.
You might have some people reaching out to you.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, I really liked this last person I went to, but and I'm sure a lot of you can relate, but it's just, I want a different experience than what I've experienced, essentially. Like, I don't need to tell my whole life story, and like it's cool to connect, and I like when people know what they're doing and what they're talking about, because I've had instances where color did not come out like a picture that I showed, and I get that it's never going to be perfect, but it should be close to, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm all about a connection, and if I don't connect with the person, it's hard for me to go back. And so I haven't fully found a connection yet.
That's 100%. Like, you got that right there. Everyone who's watching, like, that's basically what your clients are thinking, right? Like, the reason or not they come and stick with you and continue to come back is whether or not you give them that amazing quality, consistent experience that every time they come to your chair, it's a fun experience. It's an enjoyable experience. It's some way where you guys are building real life human connections, and you're creating that transformation for them that ultimately they're going to remember who did that for them. So, and that all kind of relates back to the brand too, putting that message into what you're doing too, like the way you make people feel, the way you treat people should be portrayed as well. So I love that. Let's go ahead and move into number 5. And anyone who's watching too, if you're in Arizona, you may, Brittany may be looking for a hair girl. Number 5.
I want to see some fighting competition now. Anyway, the next one is brand pillars.
Okay. The brand pillars.
So these are what you stand for, your business stands for. So usually there's, I would say, about 3 to 4 of them. So I'm going to kind of go back so that you understand what I'm talking about. So for this couple realtor team, their brand pillars are coach, partner, and friend. So they are all about wanting to coach people through the process and walk them through the process so they don't feel like they're lost and don't know what the heck is going on.
Yeah.
They are a partner because they have so much experience in everything that they've done. They also mentor to keep their clients on the big picture and essentially help them through whether it's a financial investment, a sale, or a buying experience.
So brand pillars are really like those, like maybe just one word type things that describe the quality of service you provide or what makes you different, right?
Exactly. And then go into explaining how that ties back into who you are.
I gotcha. What would be like a good example maybe for the beauty service providers out there that you could just kind of about?
Put me on the spot. Oh, I would say like revived almost would be a good word. Because maybe even
if you create that experience, obviously, like just what's a good way to maybe find those pillars then? If someone wanted to, like, I don't know, maybe this was on their cover photo on Facebook, or maybe this was in their Instagram bio or Facebook bio. What would be the best way to like kind of what would create those? Because that's a good one, like revive or transform or something like that, depending on what you do, or cure. I don't know.
Yeah, like I would say like essentially like thinking about how you want your clients to feel. And then kind of narrowing it down to, okay, what is this overall feeling that you want to achieve to build that top word that matches it?
That makes perfect sense. Like, it all just depends on like use the words your clients are probably speaking to you. Like when they come to your chair, are they looking for the new look? Like what's in? Are they looking for a complete makeover? Are they looking for a transformation? Are they looking for a new refound confidence? Like you got to get those triggers at the words, what your clients are saying to you. It's basically customer research or client research, right?
Right.
And that should be, the main tonality of what you put back out there so that you're more likely to attract that type of client too. I mean, wherever your, focus is what you're going to attract, right? So it would really be all dependent on who your ideal client is. So I guess the best way they could probably come up with those brand pillars is maybe find who's that client that you absolutely love, and just ask them a couple questions like, what were you looking for when you first came to me? Like, why do you continue to come to me? What to you?
How did you feel afterwards?
Right. What's your number one goal when it comes to your hair, your skin, everything like that? Like, get them talking, so that you can kind of get more ideas of how you can better put that back out there, right? Like, it's pretty interesting too, because everything that Katie and I and we do for our clients and everyone in the space that we work with, and even in our programs, that's like the first thing we like to start with is really getting clear on like, talk to your customers, talk to your clients, and like get some feedback so you can put that into your advertising, into your branding, into your images, into your photos, into your content. So that way, like what you're putting out there attracts more people like that, right?
Exactly.
That's what gets the fish flocking, right? Or all right, what's number 6?
It is brand position.
Okay, brand position. Got it.
So this one is literally like a one sentence of who you serve. So once you figure out your target audience, then figuring out, okay, like I live in the Chandler area, that's who I'm serving, and then I'm a realtor. So connecting the dots to make that one sentence, and so like you can use it on your Google Analytics because that one sentence will go so far.
What would be an example of that sentence for like let's just say a microblading specialist or something like that?
My name is, I'm just gonna say I'll just go with my business name. Hi Brittany Designs helps mompreneurs in the Chandler, Arizona area to
get natural, fuller looking brows.
There you go.
Right? We've used that before. So that's a good example. So like, and I'm sure after we're done here, you could put in the comments like an example. So maybe they could do that. You said it would be good to put where in like.
Yeah. So your business name, how you help them, where you help them, and what that actual goal is. Like, so putting a little bit of that experience in it.
I gotcha. That's very helpful. We'll drop that in the comments below, and maybe we'll even include that in our cheat sheet later on or something.
Yeah,
we'll just put a branding cheat sheet or whatever.
Yeah.
If you want that, again, hashtag worksheet below, as everyone else has. I think we got like 10 plus or more, so we'll probably be hitting that 20 pretty soon. Hashtag worksheet below if you want access to kind of recap everything we just talked about. And we're still moving. So Maureen did say, I need to talk more to my clients. I get tunnel vision into my work. I'm 100% with you on that, Maureen. It's very easy to get that tunnel vision. It's very good, but at the same time, like your best asset for attracting more clients and things like that is talking to, your current clients and really getting to know their needs, their wants, their fears when it comes to seeing a new hairstylist, to getting microblading done, to whatever. Their biggest desires, like what do they actually want? What problems have they experienced in the past? Why are they actually coming to see you? Like if you have a brand new client, the first thing you should not do is just try to convince them on your service. You should ask, what interested you in reaching out to me? Like, why are you interested in getting a facial with me? Why are you interested in microblading? Why are you interested in hair extensions? And let them tell you. And if, they don't give you too much to really work off of, like start to like get a little bit deeper. Like, can you tell me more about that? So tell me a little bit more about, why that's important to you. We call that like whying them down. So that way you can really get a feel for like why someone's actually sitting in front of you and why someone's actually like continuing to come back to you, or why they even, decide to give you a chance in the first place. Because that could also be good for you as well. If you ask someone, so how'd you hear about me, or why did you choose me versus someone else? And they said, well, I was scrolling through your picture and I saw this one picture of this one girl who I felt looked just like me. And if you get that information, you could be like, oh, I got to go find that picture. Which one was it? And then, start to create more content like that. So that way you can, get more of that stuff out there that will more likely attract more people. All client customer research. And it's really just comes down to having personal relationships with your clients. So Maureen, just ask your clients some questions, have some good conversations, just like, just good questions is always going to get you what you want in your life or your business. Just whoever asks questions, that most questions wins, right? So,
and even if you don't feel like, sometimes you forget, leaving like a survey, a customer survey in your office or your studio that people can pick up on their way out. And, whether they, you leave a Google Doc web address on that survey or whatever.
The Google form, like that's what we use. Like every time we work with a client, the first thing we'll usually do is, and it's of course in the beauty services industry, it's perfect. What we'll do is we'll take, do you have a list of clients that you have right now that we could send out a simple text message or email, or even just post it on your Facebook or Instagram page, just saying something as simple as, hey, it's Ashley with, Skin Technologies or whatever your business is. I'm looking to expand and grow my business, and I wanted to just ask you a couple questions. If you don't mind just answering 5 quick questions, it would be amazing. And at the end of it, I'll be offering everyone who enters I don't know, maybe some sort of incentive. You don't even have to do that. Sometimes people are just willing to help out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But we literally go through a Google form. We ask, what's your number one goal when it comes to your skincare, your brows, your hair, whatever? What's your number one fear in the way of choosing someone new for this, or your number one fear of microblading or whatever? Like, you'll get some really good feedback to find all that information out. So you can just take the words out of their mouth and throw it right back at them, right? So it's super valuable. It's really good stuff. And it's perfect for your branding too. That's how you create your brand, is by talking to your customers and your clients and getting feedback and spitting it back to them, right?
Yes.
That's how you can build any brand from scratch, right? Just identifying problems, finding tribal language, which is basically the words they use to describe those problems and those wants, and putting that into everything that you do. Yeah, that's perfect. So brand position, what's number 7?
It is brand promise. So this is your value statement. Usually I would say about 2 to 3 sentences of what you stand for. So this statement should be the reason why your customers buy from you, and not your competition. And it should apply only to you. Mm-hmm. So that's what differentiates you from everybody else. And, like I said, what you stand for, and does it hit you in the stomach of like, oh, that's exactly what I need, and that's why I'm going to get you. So
what would be like a good example of that? Is it like your guarantee almost, or what would you say, like, what's a good example that would maybe?
So using your brand pillars would be a part of it. Using what you do. So like, you're an esthetician that does this specifically, and giving you this experience, and what sets you apart as that person and who you serve.
I guess a good example would maybe be something like, I don't know, if you do microblading, beautiful brows in whatever, guaranteed, or something like that. Maybe something like that, or just kind of like, I guess, almost like your tagline type thing. That would be a good way to incorporate your brand pillars into what you're promising as a result for your customers. Is that kind of along the line?
That might be a little too short. So I can give an example from a real estate, and once I get that worksheet, I can definitely give examples for the beauty worksheet. So that way, it's targeted for you guys. But so going back to this one, your coach, partner, and friend in your real estate journey, we guide and empower you through the home buying, selling, and investing experience. Your home is a step toward financial flexibility and freedom for your family. We're here to help you blaze the trail towards your dreams.
Okay, so a little bit longer then. I got you. Okay, well, that's awesome. I think that one will be helpful to go through in the worksheet or the cheat sheet. That's good. You definitely want to have that, promise and that one thing that stands out that maybe goes on, your website, in your, bio or whatever on.
And Facebook. All of this is used in your website. Yes.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, perfect. Let's move on to number 8. See where we're going. Let us know if you guys are still following as well. If you have any questions, like, this is a perfect opportunity to ask. Like, maybe you're not sure, what to do for your branding, where to get the right logo. Maybe you have a logo and you hate it and you're looking for something new. Maybe you have no clue anything to do with your messaging, your content you put out there. Like, your branding is what's going to make you stand out. And what Brittany's at the end of the day, and what I'm trying to share too, is that your brand is really like, you have to, it all starts with that ideal client, right?
Yes.
And you have to really figure out who that is, and take the tribal language and mold it into something that's going to appeal to them, so that they know that you're different, right? Like, that's real. What would be the definition of branding? Do you have it?
If you want the exact definition, I can pull it
up so we can actually find out what this is. Branding is, let's see, the promotion by means of advertising, distinctive design. So branding is really just standing out at the end of the day. So what you need to do to stand out is, make yourself unique, by getting very specific and clear on who you help and what problem you solve, right? Maureen just said, my vision section of my website is my brand. So she's, Maureen, let us know like a little bit more about what you mean like that, like your vision. I guess that means like her bio and stuff like that. Would that be where she incorporates her brand? What would you say like for someone's website or something would they want to do to incorporate?
So essentially, one of like it's 9 of 10. Your brand story, which essentially covers everything overall, is what you would put in your about, and that covers your who you serve, your pillars, your promise, your values. So it covers all of that in your about, and essentially, kind of a little pointer here is if you have a long form bio in your about, that's what helps show up on Google.
Okay, that's helpful for sure. So definitely, like you'd say, and she said, yeah, the about us, the story section of their website.
Yes,
super important. Not only to get clear, like if your client comes across it, they should read that and know right away whether or not they're the right person to work with you. And also, like Brittany just said, it's great to get yourself to stand out on Google too. And we're gonna get all into more of this stuff as well. And a lot of this stuff we'll be covering even deeper in the mastermind program and stuff as well, where maybe we can even create and take some people's websites or funnels or whatever and really dissect them and make sure they're right on point to be able to get this all across. Because when you get into your advertising and stuff too, if you're not clear on your message and your brand and your vision and your brand story and any of that stuff, your ads are going to tank too, right?
Yes.
You got to be very clear on all of this stuff. And this is like the heart and soul of your business ultimately, right? Like if you're not clear on any of this, you're just kind of throwing shit at the wall till it sticks. So this is
I mean, I love to compare Apple as an example as a brand, because essentially why Apple is still in business is because of their marketing, their brand, the foundation that they've built for themselves. And like, again, they're just another computer company. They sell computers, they sell phones, and they have all this stuff, but it's the brand that makes it, and the brand is simplicity, easy to use. It all comes down to those basically two things, and that's why people keep buying it, because it's so simple and easy to use, and it gives it this experience, and everybody doesn't want to miss out. And I love coming and using the acronym that everybody likes to use nowadays is FOMO.
Yeah.
If you build a brand, people will not want to miss out on the exciting things that you have to bring.
That's right. And then they'll be more likely to book their appointments quicker and not give you the runaround. I know a lot of people are struggling with that right now too. When you actually have a brand, you actually have a brand story, you actually have a clear, specific audience, a problem that you solve, like people are going to be a lot more likely to make decisions faster when it comes to booking an appointment with you. And we've proved this through a lot of testing that, if we run something that's just generic to, an advertisement for, hair extensions in this area, get the best hair extensions, whatever you want to do, like blah, 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 versus something along the lines of, telling a story through it.
Yes.
And a method that when they come through that, they're kind of getting sucked into who they're actually going to be potentially working with, and maybe even sharing content, photos, videos of the person behind the chair or behind the scenes. People are more likely to book that appointment to, actually take action versus then, I talk about all the time, you're not a candy store where you're just flipping services.
Exactly.
You need to treat yourself like a professional. Like, people come to you for you because you're you, right? So you definitely want to put, your story out there, yourself out there, and get vulnerable with your audience. And, you got to know who that audience is first though. So, that's awesome. So what's our last thing here, number 10?
Last one is your actual visual identity. So before you go out and buy a logo, you've got to have 1 through 9 as your foundation, because once you know who you're serving and who your like what your story is, what your values and all these things, then the designer knows how to implement that into a visual identity.
Yeah.
So when I say that, like, you can't just say, I like the color pink and I want my logo to be pink. Maybe pink will not serve who your target audience is.
Yeah.
So there's always a reason behind the actual visual identity as well. And so the problem with just going out and buying a logo is it may not serve who you want it to serve, and it may not attract the actual people you want it to attract.
Yeah.
So once you get the foundation and realize, oh, this is who I want to serve and this is what they like, then you will be that magnet to bring in the people that you want.
I love that. And that's what we all want, right? We want to be a magnet for our clients, right? That they're just feeling, they see us, they're just attracted to us, right?
Yes.
So like a lot of people who are in this group, maybe even watching this live, like, you know, Katie and I, we constantly advertise, we share our story, we put ourselves out there all the time. And, you know, through our writing, through our videos, through our story, through our branding that we do for ourselves, we're able to attract awesome people like you guys and bring everyone together. And like, we may have never met before, but you feel like you're connected to us or whatever we do, because maybe you just heard something that was in line with the branding that we put together for you, right?
Exactly.
And so it was creating that magnet effect that we attract the right types of people, right? So you guys are here for a reason, and that's because we attracted you through our brand and through us, right? Because at the end of the day too, your logo and all that stuff can be the best thing in the world, but really you're the brand, right, Brittany? So
exactly.
You definitely, you know, got to get yourself out there and allow yourself to be that magnet as well. And through the verbiage, you know, whether you're doing through video or whether you're making a post or a blog post, even on your website or whatever, you want to have, you know, that clear vision of your target client, who you're speaking to, who are you talking to, what is going to be actually of interest to them, what's something that they can relate with, something that they can actually respond to and want them to actually get more magnetized and drawn into you, right?
Yes,
because you don't want to just get clients and get customers. You want to create fans, right? You want to have like people that like love you and that talk to everyone about you, and that literally like get super excited to come to your appointments, not just like, oh, I got to go get my hair done, or oh, I just got to go, you know, get this done. Like you want to be that person that people get jumping up and down to go see. Oh, I'm going to see, you know, Brittany, my hairstylist, or whatever, right?
Exactly.
That's awesome. So we went through the 10 steps. I think, do you want to recap them one more time, or do you want to just drop them in the comments after this, or both?
Either one. I can do both.
Let's do a quick recap, and then we'll also drop this in the comments, and then we'll be working on that worksheet soon too. So if you watch this on the live or the replay, make sure to do hashtag live or hashtag replay, whichever one you're watching, and then do hashtag worksheet, so we know to reach out to you guys when we're completed with that. So you have a complete ideal client identification worksheet. And everything in these 10 steps is all going to be laid out in a way that you can actually apply for you and your business. So go ahead and hit those 10 steps one more time.
All right. Number one, your market. So again, going into the characteristics of your population.
Oh, you dropped them in the comments. Cool.
Yep. You know, cost of living, age, income, occupation, you know, figuring out who your market is, your target customer. Again, going back to characteristics, the age, style, focus, aspiration, what type of generation are they in? Third thing, properties versus competitors. What is your competitors' strengths and weaknesses versus your opportunities and threats? The next one is brand basics. Overall company brand based on, like, what is your brand based on? The next thing is your brand pillars, values for what your business stands for. The brand position, whom you serve, the brand promise, your customer benefit, the value statement, what hits you in the stomach, brand values and principles, what are the core values of the fundamental beliefs of a person or organization, the brand story, the overall umbrella of who you are and what you serve, the foundation. And the last thing is visual identity. This is where it looks pretty. Once you have your marketing strategy, then you go to your visual identity.
I love that. And if you guys, need some help with any designing this stuff, this is what Brittany does for a living. This is what she focuses on. She's very good at it. So if you guys,
even if you're not a mom, I would be willing to help you.
That's right. So, she focuses on working with mompreneurs, but she's a part of this community to help you guys out with any problems you guys are experiencing, or maybe you just need a little bit of help. She'd be more than happy to talk through, help you out. So just reach out to either one of us, or comment below in the comments, and we'll probably be selecting maybe one or two people to even get in contact with too, and we can do to help them. And so after this, we are going to be doing a masterclass together here in the near future. We haven't locked down a date, but we're going to be going through and actually creating the action steps for this stuff, and putting it into slides. And if you guys haven't been to one of our masterclasses, we just had the mindset masterclass the other night that Brittany was at.
It was so good.
These masterclasses are so much fun. And it's an awesome way for us to all get on a private, little workshop webinar, and all talk to each other. And, we go through slides. We have the expert. In this case, Brittany would be the expert. And she walks you through, this is why we would do this, and this is what you can go do step by step. So that way you can start to really, in this case, design the perfect 6-figure brand that's going to help you really stand out in your market. Yes. So let us know if you guys are more interested in hearing about that, but make sure you type in #live and #worksheet if you want us to reach out to you on that. And if you guys don't have any questions for us, thank you so much for being here, Brittany. I really appreciate it. Anything you want to leave us with, or any last pieces of advice?
I would just say, make sure you continue to work on yourself within, to then ask your clients of what they like about you, and combine the two and build a foundation. Because once you have a foundation, that's what grows your roots, and you blossom into a beautiful business.
I love that. So go blossom, go build a beautiful business, and have a beautiful weekend and Friday night. We'll talk to you guys later. Thanks,
Awesome.
Brittany.
Thank you.